Okay, so been doing shadow work, reading about it also. It turns out I wasn't fully doing it correctly. You know, whenever I would notice something about myself, it was almost like this aha moment instead of this, you know, apologizing to myself and loving myself back into the light, basically. So through reading about it, I've noticed that I needed to figure out my triggers. And so this is just basically a list of my triggers, and then this video I'll probably add to its own playlist so that every time I work on a trigger, I'll tie it into it so that you can see how the triggers work themselves out, basically, and me for future reference. So one trigger that I have is infidelity. I don't agree with it at all. It's something that just watching someone else do it and me not say anything gives me this terrible feeling about myself. I've had friends that got cheated on and told them, hey, you're being cheated on. Or, you know, waited for them to say, you know, are they cheating on me? Because I realized just coming out and telling people, you know, they didn't give me the response I was hoping for, or there was a negative response. There was a lady that her boyfriend had came in. I was 16 years old, and it was after I had my daughter, and he was making passes towards me. He was an old man, like in his 50s. And whenever I told his girlfriend about it, she came to my house, said that she was going to pick him up, told her what he was wearing and everything, like proved it down to a T that he had been there that day. There was no question about him not being there. So whenever I had told my husband at the time, my kid's dad, he said, oh, well, if it's true, then you'll go tell his girlfriend. Well, okay, I told his girlfriend. And she came to my house and said if I didn't have my daughter in my arms, that she would beat me black and blue. That how dare I? And it's just like, dude, you were like, wouldn't a friend tell a friend? You know, I thought I was doing something I should have done. So infidelity is something I don't like. It's something that I despise. But I'm not so open to come out and tell someone they're being cheated on. I will try to set up ways to where the truth can be found out if they just look or if they pay attention, but I don't necessarily put myself in the position to get treated like that again. So infidelity is probably one of my top ones. Along with infidelity comes lying. Sorry, I'm going over railroad tracks. So lying, you know, obviously goes kind of hand in hand with infidelity. You know, you're still keeping secrets, you're still lying. You know, I've heard people say, oh, well, I only lie about the little things. You know, I don't lie about nothing important. Well, the way I see it is if I can't trust you in the little, how can I believe anything you say that's big? So lying is like, that's something that I can lose all respect for a person over. My third thing is probably stealing. I have stolen my life. When I was in foster care, I had very sticky fingers. As I got older, I realized that the way I was being looked at, and I wasn't that much older. I was only it was from the age of 8 till I got about 12. By the age of 12, it was I was so paranoid of being thought of as a thief that I would justify myself quite a bit. My aunt, I was sitting in her car and she smoked. She had a lighter and I thought the lighter was awesome, you know, so I was playing with it or whatever, and I set it back in the console, and I guess whenever we took a turn or something, it had fell out of the console. Well, then she was looking for her lighter, and just the way that she looked at me, it was just I promise I didn't take it. I promise. I don't have it on me. And I started just going through my pockets and everything I don't have it. You know, and she found it under the seat, and it was under my seat. And I was like, oh no, now it looks like I put it under my seat. I was going to get it later. I had I had this paranoia that people were going to look at me like that. And I didn't want to be known as a thief. And I guess that somehow made, well, that, and I have to work hard for the things that I have. I have 3 children, so if I have anything for myself, it's something I had to save up for a while to get, or I had to wait a while to get. So it's something that I wanted. It's something that I felt I needed for whatever reason. And somebody taking something like that from me, or maybe it's a gift from someone else, because I have gifts that I never use. They were gifts from other people, but there's a sentimental value there, so I don't want that to be misplaced. I don't want it to be stolen. So I've noticed letting people into my home, they had a tendency of stealing my things. So needless to say, now, to protect myself, I only let relatives come over, and that's it. And it's the ones that I believe will not steal from me. They might move my stuff around, but I don't believe, deep down in my heart, I don't believe they would ever steal from me. But the 4th thing, pretty sure we're on the 4th thing, would be disrespect. I feel this a lot with my children, especially after I may spend some hours cooking a meal for them, or and it's just, I feel like it's disrespectful for them to want to come to the table after the 10th time of me calling them down and want to have in their headphones. I just fixed you this meal. You can have the courtesy of at least engaging in conversation with me for dinner, So respect is a big one for me. Another thing, whenever you respect someone, I respect my mother. I don't agree with her decisions all the time. I don't agree with the things that, or the way that she sees things, especially when it has to do with my children, but I still respect her as a person. I don't belittle her. I don't talk bad about her. It's respect. The 5th thing, I think we're on 5, is probably no, I can't really think. There might just be what I said, because I really can't think of another one. Oh, there was laziness and procrastination. I think I have worked through that one, made a video about it already. I'm not completely sure though, since I didn't love myself back into the light. I didn't apologize for shaming this side of myself or nothing like that. So it might still be a very big issue that I have that I'm still unaware of. Rudeness would have to be one that I just really don't like. Worked a lot in food, fast food. I was a manager at McDonald's for almost a decade. And disrespect between management and crew, disrespect with customers. It's almost like, I don't know. There was an incident the other day where a customer had came in, ordered something. They had talked down the line, so they had, it took a little bit longer to get through, but they were a whole family. There was 4 of them. There was a guy behind them, and by the time it got to his turn, he was very rude, and just the rudeness made me not even want to prepare his food. It's almost like, screw you, dude. I don't have to serve you. I don't have to deal with this. And, I've noticed that's my mentality a lot, is I don't have to. I have a choice in this situation. And if I don't have to and I don't want to, I'm not going to. As a child, I felt like I was really forced to have to deal with a lot of stuff I didn't want to deal with. Being put in situations that I shouldn't have never been in. So as I got older, I started realizing, and my stepdad had told me a lot, hey, try to look ahead, see how different different things are going to play out. If you think it's going to play out bad, avoid it. So, it's dealing with people, especially around their food. And if they're in a hurry, like fast food, like in a perfect world, yes, it only takes you 3 minutes to get through the drive-thru, but we don't live in a perfect world. There's other circumstances. You run out of product. Somebody didn't do their job the shift before or 30 minutes before because you gave them a list of stuff to do and they didn't complete it before they left, and you checked the main things that you could remember that they needed to do because they threw away the list and that one thing that one customer wanted, and they ended up being a butthole about, So it's really like to avoid conflict with people. Conflict I do not like. I guess because of all the violence that I was subject to at a young age, if I see or feel like someone is getting, they're gonna, not even violent, they don't even have to become violent, like I really just like I have to get away. It's almost like PTSD, I guess. Like something in my brain just says, nope, get out of here, and I do. I noticed with being around people from my past, especially my ex-husband's family, they had a tendency of just staring at me. I had a boyfriend, and whenever we would go to the town where I used to live at, he would notice like somebody an aisle, like far down the aisle, just staring at me, watching my every move, and then he'll be like, hey, do you know that person? I'm like, and I would look, and of course I knew him. So I'd try to go to a different aisle, and they would just follow me through the whole store, and it's just like so uncomfortable, and it's almost like they were waiting to be able to say something bad about me, and knowing some of his family and hearing them talk about other people, it wasn't like, it was very uncomfortable. And I moved towns so I wouldn't have to be around them. I have a tendency of running away from things, and it's kind of, I guess, give my daughter, the oldest one, this idea that she can just hide from her problems, that she doesn't have to confront them. And whenever she was in middle school, she claims that she was bullied, but according to the texts and stuff that I had seen, not the one she showed me, because the one she showed me looked horrible and looked like she was just being talked to like a dog. But it turns out it was between her and another girl, and they were both saying mean and hurtful things to each other. But according to her, she feels like she was bullied. And I don't know if it's an attention thing, like, hey, I've been bullied, have pity on me, or if it's she really feels like she was bullied. In my opinion, if y'all are both going at it, nobody's bullying anybody. Y'all are just two hot-headed teenagers that are having a go at it. And it was words. It never got violent. It never, like, escalated from there. But I would say something on my trigger list is whenever I see manipulation. My dad was a very good manipulator. He was also very smart. I watched him manipulate people all the time. And part of most of my adulthood is me, or basically since he went to prison or got locked up, it seemed like I've made it my goal in life to be nothing like him. I don't know if that means I have the traits that he did and they're just tucked away in my shadow, and I just keep resisting them or avoiding them or trying to hide them. But I know a lot of times I don't have correct responses to things. I may be feeling a certain way towards someone, but then give them the nastiest look ever, and I wasn't even intending to. And it might have been just a flash of something I got in my head, and then I just had this, like, look, or I don't even know what kind of look it would be. I just noticed sometimes, like, people would be like, whoa. And it's just like, what? And it's almost like I felt like they could read my thoughts. So it was probably my facial expressions. And I mean, like, everybody has energy, and if you can feel the energy then they could probably feel the energy coming off of me. Like, she's upset at this moment, and it was literally just something that flashed in my head and flashed out. So, hopefully I can work through my triggers. So far, laziness and procrastination, I think I might have a hold on. I noticed the other day whenever I went to work and seeing some people like not work their fullest or whatever, you know, a lot of times because I have this need to have everything perfect, I noticed that not that I didn't care so much, it just didn't bother me so bad. You know, I did my job the way I was supposed to and I went home. So, you know, maybe I have worked through it. I hope so. But I'll keep posting videos and keep y'all updated about the rest of the triggers soon. Have a good day.